Hi, I'm Tom O'Sullivan. This is Scooby. We both work at Cheltenham College Prep School, and I've been asked just to answer one or two questions so you get a little bit of an idea about what we're about. Now, first question was, how would I sell my school in 20 seconds? Well, I'd say it's an adventure in education. That's really what we're about. From the first minute that the child comes in the morning to the very final minute when they go home, they should have had an exciting and engaging day. And they've got a million things to tell their parents in the car on the way home. What would I change about the school? I think probably the biggest thing I would change is our dining hall. Our dining hall is lovely, but it's quite small. And I think it's absolutely crucial for prep age children to sit down, have a formal lunch with members of staff, rather than a kind of an ongoing cafeteria. So that is what we do. We have that lovely old-fashioned family service where we get to know the children really well, but we have to do it across 3 or 4 sittings. And so a lovely, great big dining hall where we could fit the whole school in would be a fantastic addition, I think. What do pupils think of me, and do I care? Interesting. I would hope they would say I was enthusiastic, I was very supportive. I'd hope they'd also say I was decisive. Do I care what they think? I think it's really important that I do care what the pupils think. Now, that's not the same as not being prepared to take a tough decision that may be not popular because it's the right thing to do. That's about being decisive. But I think it's really important that the children do relate to me. A prep school, more than any other school perhaps, is defined by the personality of the head. And the head playing a major role in and around the school each and every day. So I think it is actually really, really important that the children and I, we won't agree on everything, but we have a really, really strong relationship. What keeps me awake at night? Well, I think the obvious answer is Scooby, if you have a 13-stone Great Dane jumping on the bed. I suppose the question is getting at what worries me as a head. I think that's probably the same for everybody. What we're all desperate to achieve, and certainly I am, is to have happy children, happy staff, and happy parents. And we want to do everything, certainly I want to do everything I can to make sure that's the case. Does it keep me awake at night? In all honesty, no. They're incredibly busy days, and as I put my head on the pillow, I go out like a light. So, but those are the things that you really want to get right. Why did I become a teacher? I think I come from a family of teachers. My mum, my dad, my brother, my aunt and uncle were all teachers. And I think everybody always knew that I would be a teacher. So I went off and did a law degree and worked in business, and didn't really enjoy any of them, just to prove everybody else right and me wrong. So I retrained as a teacher, and 10 seconds into my first lesson, I knew I'd never do anything else. And that's been it was fantastic to have done those things first, because it allows me to bring a whole load of different experience into the classroom and into the school as a whole. Why Cheltenham? Well, actually, my dream job came up in my hometown. This is where I was born and brought up, and I was lucky enough to get it. So I love it here, and I'm here for the long haul, which again is great for hopefully me and the school. Who is my hero? I think probably growing up, I had 2 heroes. I was always very sporty. One was Ian Botham, and the other was Bruce Grobbelaar, who some of you older people will remember was a Liverpool goalkeeper. And the 2 of them were both kind of swashbuckling sports people. They didn't fit the norm. They were exciting. You never quite knew what they were going to do next. But they also both played in an amazing spirit. Win or lose, you knew they were having a fantastic time and they were going to entertain. And both of those, I think they were the first 2 books I ever read as a classic boy, Ian Botham's autobiography and Bruce Grobbelaar's autobiography. And I remember looking up to both of those in my youth. My favorite karaoke song. What's my go-to karaoke song? It's actually a song called We Built This City on Rock and Roll. And the reason why, I think all of music is about the memories of what you were doing at the time, and that's what it brings back. And I remember my first ever, I was 10 years old, my first ever dance with a girl was to We Built This City on Rock and Roll. And so it holds a very special place in my heart. So sadly, once I sing it, I suspect that there is no special place for that song in anybody else's heart, but it will always be close to me. What crime would I commit if I thought I could get away with it? I think what I would do is I would steal and hide every mobile phone in the world for a month. And after that month, I'd give everybody back their phone, but I would hope and I genuinely believe that people would then use that in a more balanced way. And I think actually everybody's world would be significantly improved by that. So I wouldn't take it away forever, but I think a small period of time for everybody away from their phone would allow them to appreciate all the things outside of technology. And then when the technology comes back into their lives, they maybe all use it in a slightly better way. What do I hope my legacy would be if and when I leave? It's an interesting one because I strongly believe that schools are about the here and now. Somebody who's taught 30 years or somebody who's taught 1 year, that makes no difference to the children who are there. They care about what's happening to them in the moment. So I think probably legacy isn't about what's in the school and what you leave in the school, because a new head will come in and they will change things and things develop and move on as they should. I think if you have a legacy, and this is just as any teacher, not as a head, it's the people that you taught who are out in the wide world, hopefully making a difference, taking on board some of the things that they may have learnt in my lessons and in the schools that I've been in. And they're making the world a better place, and they're making their own lives better because of some of the things they learnt when they were at school. And I think that's an awful lot more important than a name over a theatre or anything like that. So I think legacy is about the people you taught rather than about what you leave behind. I hope that was helpful. I very, very much hope to see as many of you as possible at Cheltenham Prep at some stage and to welcoming you here.